I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hey everybody, welcome to TV Guidance Counselor. Welcome back. We are in the middle of August. We've made it through 8 months of 2025, so we're more than halfway over. That's a good thing. Or we made it through 7 and some change. You know, you figure out the math you want to do there for yourself. But we are here, and it's TV Guidance Counselor, and this is the show where each and every week I welcome an interesting person to the show to discuss classic television, and this week is no exception. We look at an old TV guide with old comedy friend, a guy I haven't talked to in a long time. It was nice to catch up with him, Mr. Jim Tews. And Jim has a new comedy special out called With Pictures. I put links in the show description here for that. You can also go to jimtews.com, which also there are links in the show description for that. I also will put links up on the Patreon, patreon.com/TV Guidance Counselor. If you give as little as $1 a month, you can be a patron. $5 or more, you get a PDF of this week's TV guide, and you can follow along with the show. Also on social media, except for Twitter, because that's a den of anyway. But so here we are, over 700 episodes in. This is a fun episode, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guest, Jim Tews.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
Live via satellite from New York, Jim, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing this. I was like, I gotta have Jim on the show. It's been far too long, and it was a perfect opportunity. You got a special out.
Yeah, it's called With Pictures.
Unlike this.
Yeah, perfect for TV fans. I don't know. There's a visual component, which is why it's called that. Yeah, I just have like a screen behind me. So about 50% of it requires that you watch and listen, which is all I know is like a lot for people nowadays. But there's also an album version. So if you want to just have an auditory?
Oral? You want to have an oral experience?
If you want to have an aural experience, you can stream the album too.
And in that instance, you have someone describing the pictures behind you like a second auditory track.
Yeah. No, there's a PDF link. And
good. Like Jim is now standing in front of a photograph of a whale.
It's like when you get like a college textbook and there's additional materials that you have to log into a website for.
We had to go to, when I was in Northeastern, and I was talking with this the other day about how old this made me feel. We had to go to Nomen Copy, which was like the on-campus copy shop. It was a copy cop, like Kinko's type place that the campus owned.
Oh.
And you had to get like supplemental packets of materials, collections of articles and stuff for classes. And they cost like $100.
Oh my God.
For photocopies. It was ridiculous. Then they tried to get me in trouble because you had 30 days to return books when you bought them at the store. This is a total tangent, by the way.
That's all right.
And so I would buy the books, I would get the syllabus, I would photocopy everything I needed from the book via the syllabus on the free copier in the library, and then I would return the book.
Yeah.
They had to be like, no, when you buy the book, that you're buying the right to use it, and once you sell it back, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Take these photocopies, forget it. I got no money, so yeah, it worked. Good loophole.
I had a teacher that wrote her own textbook and then made us buy it. And I was like,
that was a lot. I think a lot of people get into teaching to get people to buy their book. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes it, but when it happened, it was at a community college too. No, it wasn't community college. It was at Cleveland State. I was like, wait a minute, is this a thing?
It is. I've had at least 5 professors who we had to buy their book to teach, which is hilarious. And one of them was a fiction writer. We had to buy his fiction book.
Oh, no, you can't. That's cheating.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, he was a science fiction writer who wrote under a pen name, and it was a book about sci-fi. And of course, his book was one of the ones we read.
Did he like reveal that it was his book at the end? Like,
oh, before? No, it wasn't like,
okay.
Oh, interesting. So you've all told me what you really think of this book. Well, let me tell you something. That author was me. No, but that is, and I've told this story of the show before, but that is the infamous time when I insulted Dean Koontz.
Oops.
And he got really mad at me. Because you're familiar with Dean Koontz.
I mean, I know that he's a writer. I've seen, yeah.
Not great. He's kind of always in the shadow of Stephen King. And so this guy, at one point, Stephen King did come speak to the class because this guy did know some like notable authors. And so Dean Koontz came, and Dean Koontz wrote this book called Hideaway that they made a movie of with Alicia Silverstone and Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Terrible. And the book is even worse than the movie. Like at the end, literally an angel comes and saves everybody. Like it's literally a Deus Ex Machina, and it's not like a comment on that. He didn't do anything. Like that's literally like he wrote himself into a corner. He's like, I have a great idea.
I guess we need an angel.
And so he came into the class and he was like, all right, what'd you guys think of the book? And nobody's talking and no one will say anything. And he's like, come on, I'm a big boy. I can take it, you know. And so I was like, I thought it was terrible and it was lazy. And then he got like really, really mad. And he goes, well, a lot of people read that. A lot of people bought that book. And I said, yeah, well, they bought it before they read it. He got so mad. Oh, I was a little bastard. Yeah, so that was the class where we had to buy the other guy's book. But speaking
Dean
of
Koontz never spoke to a college again.
No, Dean Koontz has gone into hiding since then. The issue you picked here is July 29th to August 4th, 1989. You gave me a few different choices. This one I picked because it was the first one I got my hands on in the boxes. But I presume you went with this because of Married with Children?
That was one of the big, the big selling points. I'm bringing it up too. Is that all right? Is that appropriate?
Oh, yeah.
How we?
So this is a Cambridge edition, but you grew up in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Where's Allentown? What's Allentown?
Allentown is like, it's the 3rd largest city in Pennsylvania. It's in the Lehigh Valley, and it is like a kind of a tri-city thing with Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton. And Bethlehem was the where Bethlehem Steel was.
Okay, so it's sort of Pittsburgh-ish area?
No. This is East Coast. Like I'm like I can. Allentown's like basically like a point of a triangle between New York and Philly.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, all right. So you're on the Philly side. You're not on the weird Amish side.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, you don't have to go that far to hit the Amish folks.
That's true.
From Allentown. Amish are sprinkled throughout Pennsylvania.
They're hidden all over the place. They're like Waldos.
Yeah.
To spot the Amish.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in a band, we played in Pittsburgh, and it was a punk band, and I thought the guy was kidding. One of the guys in the other bands goes, oh, fuck. And I go, what? He goes, fucking Amish are here. And I thought he was kidding, but he was serious because, like, 18-year-old Amish kids on the Rumspringa, they'd show up and be assholes and, like, start fights and be drunk, like, just be, like, a real problem.
Oh, yeah. Real amateur night kind of thing.
Sanctioned amateur night.
Yep.
Still East Coast. This is the Cambridge edition. Married with Children, oddly, is it set outside Detroit? I feel like it's set in
Chicago.
Michigan. Chicago, that's right.
Yeah, that opening shot in the
fountain.
Intros. Yeah, the fountain.
I watch this show every week. My dad loved it, and I found it not offensive, but actually, much in a Dean Koontz way, it seemed lazy.
Oh, very lazy. But when you're like what you were like, Tell was watching this when I was like 10 or something.
9, 10.
It's funny, and
yeah,
and then like my dad thought it was great, of course, and then I'm like, at that age especially, you're like, oh, it's making my dad laugh. This must be a pretty cool show.
Many of us that went into stand-up, like, we watched our parents watch comedies and then tried to reverse engineer what was funny about it.
Oh, for sure. And I've had to correct a lot of that thinking.
Because you were mostly doing Married with Children bits.
Married with Children and Sam Kinison were like my dad's favorite things, particularly Sam Kinison. And, I had no concept of why he was doing what he was doing.
Right.
But it was just like, oh, this is this guy passionately screaming, and it's making my dad laugh. And then I also, this will probably come up again as we keep talking, but part of my my television taste formation was affected by the fact that my parents were divorced, and I spent 1 week at my mom's and then 1 week at my dad's, and 1 week at my mom's, 1 week at my dad. That I went back and forth once a week. So my mom was a little more conservative in that regard, and was like, we were watching like TGIF, and no Beavis and Butthead, no Simpsons when I was very young, or early on. Certainly no Married with Children. So then I would go to my dad's house, and then all bets are off. I'm like, my dad would just, if he was in the room, and I saw something I wasn't supposed to see, he would just yell, "Cover your eyes,"
Don't tell your mom.
Yeah, earmuffs kind of thing.
Did they both have cable?
Not like, so we had, I forget like how it, we both had cable. They both had
like
cable.
the basic cable, like MTV,
basic cable.
Nickelodeon. They had that stuff. Yeah, but not HBO and pay channels.
My dad had a cheater box that he got.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to ask, because divorced dads always had, as we called them in Boston, a scrambler. Even though it unscrambled.
Yeah.
Or a satellite dish. Divorced dad, classic move.
Oh, wow. No, we were definitely I think if somebody had a satellite dish hanging on their roof in our neighborhood, it would have been like, it would have been the talk of the town.
I think he's an alien.
Yeah. But we definitely, everybody had a scrambler thing from, like a guy who made them, I think my dad got his from a friend that worked at Bethlehem Steel.
My dad worked at Raytheon. It was very similar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he's a guy, or flea market guy.
Yeah.
I made mine. I got plans out of Maximum Rock and Roll magazine.
Whoa.
You could get all the parts at Radio Shack. It was like, you could make one for like $8.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that it's just like, at that point you just had like, the like blue collar hackers.
Yeah. It was so easy too, because in a pre-digital age, it's literally like a switch inside the box.
Yeah.
Like, you open it up and it's like unscramble. It was like not super complex.
Yeah, I never like looked further into it. I just knew there was like an extra link in our thing. And we had like at my grandmother's, I lived with, like Dad's week, I lived with my grandmother and him, and then later my stepmother. But we had the channel changer, like pre-remote, was this like long box, and it clicked upwards to change the channels, and it ran on a cable from like my grandfather's recliner. And you would just like sit there and click upward on this box to watch whatever.
It looks like it was like a combination of like an alarm clock and a Scrabble and like Scrabble letters. Like, right?
Yeah,
like a fake wood thing. And
totally fake wood.
Yep. It was like, this is the life right here, flipping through the things. It's always, Dad's always more permissive. He's got more stuff that you're not supposed to see, like universally of our age group. That seems to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Mom was never like, all right, don't tell your dad, but we're watching Lifetime.
No, I've never heard that. Yeah, I've never heard the opposite, the inverse.
You're not supposed to see that. Before we get into the issue at hand, as soon as we get in there, we get two cigarette ads. We get one on the back cover for a brand I never heard of called Alpine.
I vaguely remember Alpine.
That just seems cruel. Like, that's just making fun of you for smoking, calling it Alpine.
Yeah.
Like, you want to feel like you're 2 miles up in the cold weather? Have these menthol alpines. Peak refreshment.
You want to breathe air that's 50% less oxygen.
You can't even have to climb a mountain to get this unhealthy. And then the second one, as soon as you open the thing, is good old Joe Camel.
Yeah.
They were always designed for kids, and even as a kid, I was like, this thing looks disgusting. It looks like a ball bag. I love cartoons. This is not a fun looking cartoon. It literally looks like Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us who has a ball bag on his face.
This is another one of those things that was just so ubiquitous. Yeah, that's the right word.
Yeah.
In my life for many reasons. Like, obviously it was in every print ad was Joe Camel. And then I had an uncle, everybody in my family smoked except for my parents.
Oh.
My mom smoked when I was younger, but then quit pretty early. And my dad had quit before I was even born. But like aunts and uncles smoked. And my uncle was obsessed with Joe Camel paraphernalia. So when you would go to his trailer, there would be Joe Camel like artwork hanging up, and he was like, collecting it. So to me, it just reminds me of my Uncle Danny.
And Joe Camel memorabilia, you can't just buy. You have to either earn it with Camel points or win it at a carnival.
Yeah, or you gotta like talk to the guy at the beer distributor and be like, "Hey, you're gonna throw that out? You want?
Can I have that?
Yeah, can I have that?" And
by trailer, you mean he lived in one, not that he was in the film business.
Correct. It was like a permanent mobile home kind of thing that they lived in. But yeah.
Oh, Joe Camel's still in that home, in the walls forever. Did you ever smoke?
Oh yeah, I did. Of course.
What was your brand?
Camels.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
Well, it was Camels for a while when I was like in high school. And then I switched. When I was in the Coast Guard, I remember finding like Lucky Strikes really cheap, and I just bought Lucky Strikes. So I was smoking Lucky Strikes for a while.
That's a cooler brand.
That's how I felt. I was like, this feels kind of retro. It was like 1999.
That is a cooler brand, because like Camel's right on the box in this ad, it says low tar. All right, I see that on a lot of things. Well, here's where I'm confused. Camel taste.
Yeah, that's a terribly disgusting descriptor.
I presume you mean, it's Camel brand taste, but really it shouldn't taste like any animal, let alone one that's notoriously gross.
No. I for a while I smoked Camel Wides. I don't know if you were familiar with those. They were
were they like a harmonica?
Yeah. Yeah. They were like, you had to smoke it like you're eating corn on the cob. They were just like wider, like fatter cigarettes.
The point was like you got more out of them or something?
I guess. I don't know. Some like older kid I hung out with had them, and I was like, oh, that's the answer.
Wide is not used nearly enough. Mike Watt from the band The Minutemen is the only person I've ever heard refer to people that way. Like if someone was fat, he'll be like, this guy was wide. And I'm like, why don't I hear that more often? That seems like a more apt description
totally
for people. So when we get in here, there's this article about Married with Children, which is actually a really good article. Does it go too far? Will it give in to critics? And it's like a pretty even-handed, well-researched, interesting, straightforward article. Not like a sky is falling, your kids are going to be abducted.
I started reading it.
It's great.
Yeah, I got to revisit this now.
Because it's like, the show was notoriously racy for network television. There was an episode that was banned. They didn't air it. It got pulled the week it was supposed to air, which they talk about here. And the plot is, it says, the basic story was that Al and Peggy had not had sex in a while, and her friend advises her to change the venue. So they go to a motel with their friend Stephen Marcy. The management gives them an X-rated tape to watch, and then they realize they're watching a tape of Stephen Marcy. and that Al and Peggy are also taped. So then they go to court, and it's a whole thing. Like, that's a funny idea, but like that was a bridge too far for people. They were like, no.
Man, here's another thing is I have a terrible memory. So if you're like, do you remember that episode when such and such happened? My wife, this happens with my wife all the time, and I'm like, no. She'll be like, we just watched it.
We're watching it now.
Yeah, I won't remember it when I'm supposed to recall it, but I'll just be like sitting in traffic one day, and then it'll all step by step come back to me for no reason and be
delayed
of no
reaction.
use. Yeah. But so I remember bits and pieces of Married with Children, and I definitely watched a lot of it. And my big takeaway, like looking back now, thinking about it, like at the time it was funny because you just had this, I didn't quite understand. I understood that Al was the butt of the joke. Like to me, it was very clear.
He's a loser.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to be like, this guy really sticks it to his wife or whatever. Yeah. And even like I remember even that arc of like the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember
no, ma'am.
No ma'am. Like I remember even that just being like, these guys are idiots.
Yeah. And
it's funny now to be like, how would this play today? Because there are people that act like this for real.
Oh yeah, it's like Joe Rogan people that would be like, the incel guys would be like, yeah, and they probably would if this show had continued in syndication. It kind of fell off. Like there would be a generation of like incel dorks who are like, that's how you treated women, and men could be men. And it's like the guy's talking about the 2 touchdowns he got in high school.
Right.
Like they're losers. He's shoes. Like that's the whole point. Like,
right.
He's not a lovable underdog that you're rooting for. You're like, he's a loser and he's also an asshole.
Right. And Bud, it was just like perpetually horny teenager who never, and like a short king.
Yep.
Yep. I don't know. I thought that was one thing I feel like it deserved credit for is like the broad strokes of those characters and how they all fit together. And Peggy was never really not that she wasn't the butt of any jokes, but she wasn't like a weak character.
No, she was kind of in charge. Like she manipulated, like she knew what she was doing.
Right.
And like oddly, when I look back at it, the 2 female, actually 3 with Marcy, the 3 female characters come off the best. And part of Kelly coming out well is that, she's obviously played as really stupid, but she comes across as like kind of sweet and generally innocent-ish comparatively because of it. And then Peggy, she's like manipulative, but it's also written in a way where you're like, well, no, she should do that to him.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, but I mean, every episode has like 10 jokes about fat people and Indian guys.
Right. Yeah. That's where it definitely dates itself.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I always loved about this show is like the wolf whistles.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, as soon as a woman steps onto the frame, like it's just like, I mean, especially Kelly, it's just like, woo, just such a ridiculous overreaction to the sight
of a woman in heels and a short skirt.
Right. You're like, what is this?
Who is this audience and how were they recruited?
Right. How are they recruited? And like every show has a warm-up comic that goes like, all right, everybody. So when Kelly comes out here,
I want you to get real horny.
Yeah. I want you guys to get rock hard.
I wonder. So I've talked to a bunch of people doing stand-up and on the show who've been warm-up comics. And I've never talked to anyone who was a warm-up comic at Fox. And Fox at this time had like 25 sitcoms. So there definitely were warm-up comics. And they had to be one for Married with Children. So I bet they either the audience was completely old people dead and it's like nothing happened. They had to pipe that in.
Yeah.
Or the person must have like crazy stories of just like the rowdiest scumbags.
Right. Showing up.
It's like Laconia Bike Week.
There's a documentary that I did animations for called Before We Get Started, and a comic, Ryan Reese, who is a warm-up comic, he directed it. And I don't know when it's going to be out yet. Like, it had a festival premiere. But yeah, if that's a question that interests any listeners, keep your eyes peeled for Before We Get Started.
Oh yeah, let me know when it's out. Now I'll definitely blast it out to the listeners.
It's really interesting. They don't talk about Fox specifically, but like I know like Mark Summers was a big warm-up guy.
Oh yeah, Paul Provenza was a warm-up guy forever.
Yeah, so many, and you wonder like there's more that obviously weren't spoken to, that they had stories, but a lot of the stories were about them, just literally picking people up off the street to bring in, or tourist groups. And there's
it's
no
like
way
a hostage situation.
They're shooting all day.
Yeah, it's awful. It's not fun to go to a multicam show taping. It's not fun.
Have you been? I've never been to one.
I've been a couple times, and it's you're there so long. And I've been as like a guest of like writers too. So I'm in like the cool part of the audience with like friends and family of cast members. And it's still like they take your coat, like you can't leave. You're there for 4 or 5 hours. It's just like you watch them do the same stuff over and over and over again. It's in newer shows. A bunch of the stuff was like pre-taped too. So a lot of that you're sitting in the audience watching screens.
Oh,
and they're like having your try
to react to it.
Yeah, very weird, very weird. And they're giving out prizes. It's like cruise ship. Like it's just it's a different skill set. Also, how psyched was your dad on the 2-parter Married with Children episode, Christmas episode where Sam Kinison guest starred?
Oh, I don't know, but I kind of remember that one.
It's a Wonderful Life, it was called.
I have to ask him about that. My wife and I have been going back through night like our like before bed watch, we've been picking old sitcoms, and we're almost done with Fresh Prince now, but I might try and talk her into Married with Children.
We've
a
done
full
Barney
series
Miller.
watch through.
Night Court's been our before bed for a while. Wings.
Wings we did a while ago.
Yeah. Holds up. Good show.
Drew Carey was the one before.
Drew Carey is a solid show. I feel like it doesn't get enough credit.
I love Drew Carey. I mean, the last like 2-3 seasons, it gets kind of like you can tell everybody's tired of it, but it's still good. It's
Friends. It's blue collar Friends, and my favorite thing is Drew Carey. Like I feel like Jerry Seinfeld thinks he's a good actor. Like, I feel like Jerry Seinfeld is like, oh yeah, I'm on par with this ensemble cast. I'm a good actor.
Yeah,
like,
he's never made mention of the fact that he
he can't act at all. But like Drew Carey's like, I know I don't register as a real person on the show. It's me, Drew Carey, comedian, and I'm not gonna pretend that it's not. Like it works, and it's so he's just like, all right, I don't know, like. He doesn't even, I mean, he's trying to be good on the show, but he's not like, oh, I'm going to fall, I'm going to be this character and I'm an actor. Like it just, it's an approach I don't see very often from stand-ups when they had their own sitcom.
No, even like it all still like, it just feels natural, but it is weird that he is among really good actors. Yeah. Oh yeah. But he's also the guy who's like, I don't need the funny line. Like he very rarely does. Right. He's just kind of like, I'll set you guys up. And and you get the impression that he just like is enjoying watching them do stuff. Yeah. It's a very like Charlie Brown kind of energy or orbit, Oh, for sure. Then we get an article about Maria Shriver in here, who, as we all know, was married to Arnold Schwarzenegger forever. News person of the Kennedys. Then, and I actually shared this on my social media, there's another cigarette ad here
for Benson and Hedges.
Oh, yeah.
And it's aimed at a woman, I guess. And their tagline is literally says, for people who like to smoke. And there's two pictures. One is this woman at a piano, and she's got like a Puro mime ashtray.
Yeah.
Which is very strange, with a cigarette.
Oh, yeah, that's what that is.
She's just kind of staring at the mime's face, smiling. But then the other picture, she is having an orgasm on the phone.
For 100%.
No cigarette. There's no cigarette.
No.
Like, why is it there?
No, these are very incongruous images.
This woman, just literally, her back is arched. She's looking up, eyes closed, like lips apart. Phone is like dangling in her hand. And it has no connection to anything else in this ad. There's not a cigarette in her hand. There's not even smoke. Like, it's out of frame. Like, what is the...
It looks like somebody just handed the graphic designer a shoebox of photos. And they were like, go ahead, lay something out with this.
This is sexy. How about this?
Yeah. It's for TV Guide. It doesn't have to make sense.
Well, we need a tagline. What is it for? It's cigarettes. For people who like to smoke. How about that?
It's I can follow the advertiser brain of this, because it's like you're going top to bottom, left to right. So top left, you've got, oh my God, is that woman having an orgasm? What could be cause? Oh, cigarettes. And then the come down is her just watching a cigarette burn out.
But it makes it look like, I'm not 100% sure it's the same woman. I think it is.
No, I don't think it is.
Because if it's the same woman, it looks like she had sex with that ashtray.
Yeah, maybe she did.
Because she's looking at it like, that was great. And they're smoking.
Yeah. Thank you, my ashtray.
My man. I like a man who doesn't say anything. Yeah, I've seen a lot of cigarette ads, especially since doing the show. And this is like top 3 weird ones.
Yeah.
And there's no other product in here that's tagline is, like there's a Jack Daniels ad in here. And it's just like for people who like to drink.
Yeah.
Like what a lazy, weird thing. Then there's an article, Dr. Joyce Brothers, who people would get confused with Dr. Ruth sometimes, but she was like a psychiatrist who was on TV a lot. Yeah. She writes this article like as like almost like a marriage counselor about the relationships between characters on these shows and about mental health. And it's actually like a very funny angle, and she's like a legit mental health professional. So it's an interesting article.
To revisit this one.
It's very weird. It's like I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Then we get an article about Macho Man Randy Savage and how he wants revenge on the Hulkster.
Wait, where's that?
This is on page 12 of the PDF.
Okay.
Yep. For stealing his girlfriend. This
after
was
another cigarette ad.
Yes, after another cigarette ad for Richland, USA.
Those I don't remember.
No. This is Sunday, 3:30 p.m., Richland, USA. Taste the richness of America. So it's patriotic, too.
Right, yeah. And another just collage of unrelated images.
There's one that has the cigarette pack. There's one with a guy smoking. But yeah, then there's a desert, a beach, a sunflower field.
It's just a mood board.
Yeah, it's like this is the summer I want to have here with the smoking. Yeah, the thing about the wrestling, but it writes about this as if it's a real thing, like that these two men are really fighting for the love of Elizabeth. Which is, like no one believed that was a thing.
Speak for yourself, Ken.
Well, even at 9, I was like, I don't think the love triangle. Like I'd maybe believe the fights were real, but not the love triangle. I was like, I don't think so. Then there was a thing in here. This was eye-opening to me. There's an article in here, and it's got a terrible pun. It's called Pranks a Lot. Mm-hmm. And it's about this guy named Joe Bones. Had you ever heard of this guy?
No.
So this was a guy who used to make up characters and get booked on TV shows like Good Morning America.
Oh, wow.
As a fake expert. So
right.
You could have met him in 1987 as Dr. Richard Long, a.k.a. Dick Long.
Dick Long.
Dr. Dick Long, marine biologist, or earlier as JoJo King of the New York Gypsies. He's also been Dr. Joseph Greger, world-famous entomologist with a cure-all made from cockroach extract, and Giuseppe Scagoli, director of a celebrity sperm bank.
Oh, my God.
He's been on CNN, Entertainment Tonight, all these different things that he was able to fool them on. He appeared on Mary Hartman's morning show, and he said that he was the founder of the Fat Squad, a team of diet commandos who for $300 a day would physically restrain their clients from overeating. Which is super funny. He also was on a show where he appeared on a show a year earlier under his real name to display his aquatic sculptures called Condominiums for Fish.
I want to see this guy's best of DVD.
Yes. Yeah. And this guy, these are amazing pranks. These are like Kaufman level pranks.
Yeah.
And I feel like this guy is completely unknown. Even me, this was the first I'd heard of him. Joey Skaggs.
Man. I mean, that's impressive, honestly. That's to be able to come up with the right character that would get past any sniff test,
Oh my God.
That's impressive.
Do you know what a gooey duck is?
Well, yeah, I've heard the term.
It's a kind of clam. It's like it looks like a dick. It's a giant clam with this big dick that comes out of it. So when he was on TV as Dr. Richard J. Long, marine biologist, he was saying he was from a campaign called Save the Gooey Duck in Seattle. So his name was Dr. Dick Long, and he was saving these clams that look like dicks. He claimed it was used as an aphrodisiac by the Japanese, and then it says it isn't.
Oh man.
And this is pre-internet, so this guy's not trying to get clicks. He's just doing this for his own amusement.
Yeah, and I imagine there was some sort of appearance fee, or they, maybe they'll send a limo and put you up in a hotel for the night. But to people guesting on shows like this, I assume they weren't getting
retire money. No, I doubt it. Yeah, I think SAG day rate at this time was probably $1,000. And even then, and it's not like he's parlayed this into a book deal or he's doing stand-up.
No, he just went away.
Just doing it. Yeah. I need to find this guy. He might be dead.
I'm sure he's dead.
Yeah. This is 1989. What were we, 31 years ago? Yeah. He's got to be dead. So then let's get into the listings here. So let's go Saturday night. What are you watching?
Where are we at here? Where are we at? Scrolling.
I will add, while you're scrolling, there are some MTV ads in here. I don't get the joke. I don't get the reference. One of them, it's a picture of a lighthouse, and it says, watch MTV's Top 20 Video Countdown. And it says, if not for the mighty Atlantic and the vast Pacific, it would be really hard to take a boat trip of any duration. Also, remember this. Without water, there would be no MTV.
What? This is just the start of their irreverence kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking. Is it just intentionally nonsense?
Are we starting Saturday evening?
Yes.
Okay, 6 p.m.
Or 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Ooh. I know this is problematic, but Cosby Show for sure.
It's a good show.
I know. I was a big fan of Cosby Show. Also, My Two Dads appealed to me, and Cops, because my dad was a cop, so we watched a lot of Cops.
You'd watch Cops with your dad?
Oh yeah.
Would he give you a running commentary? Be like, that's bullshit, or that's how it is?
No, I don't remember him doing that. Yeah, I don't remember that. But
I watched Cops every Saturday night till 8 years ago. And then one day I turned it on and I was like, oh, this is kind of like propaganda. I also feel bad for a lot of these people.
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I do remember a lot of it being, it felt less scandalous or ooh, at the time. But I feel like more modern updates and takes on it with different shows are way more I I don't know how to describe it, but very like fear-mongery.
Oh yeah, or like just like freak pointy. And Cops became like that. Like the first few seasons of Cops. And again, this was a genius innovation. In a lot of states, the public has a right to do ride-alongs with Cops for free. So what they thought was, well, is there anything precluding us from filming those ride-alongs? And they were like, well, no. So they were like, free show.
Yeah.
We sign up for ride-alongs and we film it. And so they tried to do like A to Z with some of these people in the first few seasons. Like they'd show them getting arrested, then they'd show them being booked and like follow up later. Like it'd be like a documentary. But literally by the late 90s, Cops had a Christmas special called Ho Ho Ho's that was all prostitution arrests. And they had like an all taser special and stuff like that. So it really lost the plot at that point.
Yeah.
This is them in Portland. And having grown up in Boston, I love the Cops episodes in Boston. They are outstanding. There's one where they bust a bookie at his house, and they're like going through all his stuff and they're taking calls. And so the sergeant's like, "Oh, what? You want to know the line on the Celtics game? Jimmy, ask him what he's getting for the Celtics." And he's like taking bets for the bookie.
He just kept his business afloat for a minute.
We got to arrest him, but we don't have to destroy his business here. You know?
Yeah.
My Two Dads was fun. I think everyone had a crush on on Stacey Keenan.
Yeah, that was I was blanking on her name, but for sure.
She is now a prominent attorney in Orange County.
Wow. I just remember the apartment on My Two Dads and just being like, what a cool place that would be to live.
The car chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and this show is about a gay couple. Like 100%. And the more and there were people who'd be like, no, it wasn't. And I'm like, tell me the premise of My Two Dads. Like, well, these two guys both were with this woman. They didn't know who the dad was. So the court gave custody to both of them. I'm like, that's the premise of the show. And it's not actually about two gay guys. And they're like, yeah, it's about two gay guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the most ridiculous plot. And then I forgot that Giovanni Ribisi is on it.
Yeah, he's like, is he play her like boyfriend or something? I think
so. Corey. And he goes by Vani Ribisi.
Wow.
But only 2 seasons of that show, which I always thought was went longer than that.
Yeah.
But a fun show. I've rewatched it. It's fun. It's not like a super high quality show, but it's fun. And do you remember what show My Two Dads was a spinoff of?
No.
Night Court.
Whoa, really?
Because the judge who makes the ruling that they have to raise her was one of the judges that would fill in for Harry. Oh. So they like used her character, and it's a spinoff of Night Court, technically.
That's crazy.
Little known fact, spinoff of Night Court. All right, so doing Cops, and then what do you get at 9?
Golden Girls, for sure.
You got to.
I don't know why I remember like like I said, my grandmother lived with us, or I guess we lived with her, and she loved that show, and she was an old lady, so I don't. It all just kind of like, it all made sense to me. I
totally misread the premise of this episode. It says, after being on pills for 30 years, Rose still feels she can either take them or leave them, and she'd rather take them. I don't really get what that means, but I misread it as being on the pill for 30 years. Oh. And I was like, wait, how old are these women supposed to be? They're like 40?
Yeah.
But that premise does not tell me what that episode's about. Like, what is she on pills for?
I'm trying to remember if I remember this episode, because we've rewatched Golden Girls quite a bit.
I do not.
I don't remember this one.
No. There's also a show on Fox that I loved called Beyond Tomorrow, and this was a U.S. remake of an Australian show called Beyond 2000, and it was like a magazine show about like innovations and like new technology. And I watched it all the time. I watched the Australian one was on Discovery Channel. I love the American one. I go back and watch them now because they're hilarious, because it's all stuff that like either we don't have or clearly was really good and somebody killed it because it would have been like made other people lose money. This one doesn't sound super exciting, but it's prototypes of a sailboat that will try to break a world speed record, and a Swedish jet fighter, a pill that induces miscarriage. I don't know why that would be like, Whoa. Check this out.
You mean an
developed in
abortion
France.
pill?
Yeah, like we
You
got
mean
this
Plan
cool
B?
plane and abortion pills. Like what? An effort to reduce emissions from coal burning power stations, which contribute to acid rain, a thing no one talks about anymore.
No, I remember learning about acid rain in like elementary school and being like, "Are you kidding me?
Right.
Is no one concerned about this?"
Like we could just go out and be eaten to bone from the
Right.
rain.
Right.
And they're like, no, it just kind of screws up your car's paint job after a while, maybe. And then it's past the purview, but at 10, Hunter is on, and I only bring it up because Sammy Davis Jr. is guest starring in it as a boxing manager,
Oh, wow.
which is kind of amazing.
Hunter was the one with I'm like picturing it in my head.
It's Fred Dreyer and Stephanie Kramer. Fred Dreyer is like the ex-football player guys, kind of got male pattern baldness going on. square head. A show I hated at the time, but I've gone back and watched, and it's actually legitimately intentionally funny most of the time,
Oh, wow.
which I was surprised by. But I'm like, oh no, this is a comedy on purpose. Are you an only child?
I'm my parents' only child,
Okay.
but I had my mom got remarried when I was like 5, something like that. And my stepdad had a daughter that was 3 months older than me.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. Well, it was cool. I mean, as a
Yeah.
kid, it was cool. We got along all right. And you know, she obviously like she was bossy. She was a bully big sister. Definitely like steered our TV choices.
Yeah, that was
quite a
going to be
bit.
my question. Like, is she in charge?
Yeah, a lot of times. But then I would always have the advantage of like when I would be at my mom's house, it would be like, well, Jimmy, we'll watch what Jimmy wants to watch because he wasn't here last week. So when he's not here, you can watch whatever you want to watch.
Oh, that's a good angle.
Yeah, there's a lot of logistics to this
But then-
blended family thing.
Like, I feel for her in that case, because, like, say she's watching a show that's serialized, right?
Right.
She's watching 90210, let's
Yeah.
say. She's got to skip every other week.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't remember that. I remember kind of going with the flow with her often. So I don't remember too many specific things where I was like worried about serialized shows. Also, it was like, that was another like disconnect for me where it was like, well, I'm just not going to know what happens week to week.
You just gave up right away.
Yeah, because like I remember at my mom's Friday nights, we would like order pizza and watch the whole TGIF block.
Yep.
Friday nights at my dad's, we would we would not do that. We'd usually be going to like some like party or picnic or like like my dad's friend owned the pizza shop that we hung out at all the time.
So your dad's like, oh, you're going to order pizza? I'm going to go to the pizza shop that my friend owns.
Yeah, but I don't know. My dad was just more like social,
Right.
and like so that was the difference in life. It was a lot of like out and about with my dad and homebody kind of when I was with my mom.
And you like that. Like, you weren't like, oh, I'm missing TGIF.
None particularly. I think the thing when I really started to care about TV as a younger person was MTV.
Yeah.
MTV, and then like the comedy that MTV had, and
Half-hour comedy hour.
yeah, and like I loved stand-up shows like Stand Up Spotlight, anything that involved skateboarding.
Sk8 TV on Nickelodeon.
Yeah. MTV, I think, had one too. Well, they had MTV Sports, but yeah. So I wasn't really big on like what's happening this week on Family Matters.
Right.
It was like, well, I'll watch it this week, but I'm going to miss it next week, and that's not going to bother me.
My poor parents, in hindsight, like, if they had to take me out during the, like, I don't know, after 6 o'clock, parents have to go to like Sears or something.
Yeah,
or, like,
yeah.
buy a new dishwasher. I literally would make such a stink that they would take me to the section of the store that sold TVs, and they would get the person in charge to put whatever I wanted on to watch. So I would literally
Man.
be watching, like, the one I distinctly remember was V, the miniseries V was on.
Okay.
And it was the second part, and our like dishwasher died or something. It was some appliance. So we went to this appliance store, and I'm like, no, I'm watching V. And my dad's like, we're not going to be there that long. And I'm like, I'm not missing V. And I like went over and I'm like, can you put channel 4 on? And they were like, sure. And so I literally sat there and watched on this entire wall of TVs V. And, you know, after, I don't know, 20 minutes, my dad was like, we're all set. And I'm like, we can't leave
V's not
until
over.
this is over. We had to sit there and finish it. And then I was like, get home quick.
Yeah. That's my wife's a lot more TV raised than I am. Like to a point where like I can shut anything off in the middle of it.
Oh,
I
God.
really I mean I think it's to my own detriment, really. Especially like pursuing a career in comedy and writing. Like
Yeah.
you should know how to get to the end of something. But that's just a side effect of ADD and a scattered upbringing. But she'll be like, it's, okay, there's 5 more minutes of this episode left. I'm like, I know that you've seen this episode of Wings 100 times. Can I describe it to you? And then we leave like on the way out the door, or like nope. I gotta just watch. It's 3 minutes. I'm like, okay.
Or even like I'm better about this now, but will she watch a show that she's like, this show's terrible? And you're like, well, let's leave. And you're like, well, no, I have to finish the episode though. Like, it's bad, but I have to watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, has to get to the end.
Once you started it, you got to finish it.
Yeah.
That's your fault. Let's see. Sunday night, what are you doing?
Let's see. Let me scroll back up here.
I will point out on TV 56, which was our UHF station, one of our UHF stations here in Boston, the Boston edition. They're showing a movie I totally forgot about. In 1976, there was a made-for-TV sequel to Rosemary's Baby. And it had Ray Milland and Ruth Gordon in it, and it's called Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby. No one ever talks about it.
Was it? You've seen it?
Yeah, I don't remember if it's any good or not. I wasn't a huge Rosemary's Baby fan, but I have to imagine it's probably pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I'll watch Ruth Gordon in anything because she's just great. And Ray Milland too, actually. But I'm like, is it just like The Omen? Because it's 76, so I think The Omen came out in 74 or 5. So I imagine they would be like, guys, we can get the Rosemary's Baby rights.
Right.
And the
Right.
baby's probably like 10 now. So it's like The Omen.
Right. Yeah, they're doing that piggyback thing. Like,
But made-for-TV sequels to theatrical movies was a thing.
yeah.
The Jerk 2.
Oh my God, I never saw that.
Oh, yeah. Sequel to The Jerk, made for TV.
Was it bad?
It's bad.
Steve Martin was in it?
No, they had Mark Blankenship from Fridays in it, in the Steve Martin role.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
It's real weird. Yeah. It's, there was a bunch of that. It's amazing. And no one ever mentions them. They're like these forgotten, like alternate reality sequels to movies, you know?
Let's see. Sunday primetime toss up. Well, here we go. Here's a perfect example. I'm at my mom's. My sister wants to watch Murder, She Wrote. So would my stepdad and possibly my mom. So we're probably watching Murder, She Wrote. If I have control, I'm watching National Geographic.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Family Ties, but you're going National Geographic.
Well, that's the tiebreaker. Family Ties would be the thing that we could probably all
That's
be
the
like,
compromise?
yeah, all right, that Family Ties would be the compromise. National Geographic and shows like that, I was pretty obsessed with as a kid, but it was more just like if a show felt like a documentary, I was turning it on and watching it. I don't remember like specific episodes of National Geographic or like, you know, making a point to go watch it, but I did have a subscription to the magazine. And I would watch any wildlife show, anything like that.
Because it was interesting and you felt like you were learning, or just...
I guess. I ever since I was little, and my my mom used to call them Jimmy shows because I was the only one that would watch them, and they would be like, "Oh God!" Like somebody would come downstairs, and if I had like sole control of the TV for 10 minutes, there's just some like voiceover with like slow footage of a flamingo cleaning itself or something, and they're like, "Oh, we're watching Jimmy shows again."
National Geographic this night is earthquakes and volcanoes in Japan.
Oh, I'd have lost my mind for that.
Yeah, been like, where's Godzilla? So, like, were you a seafaring interest person? Like, was that part of the Coast Guard decision?
Not really. Not any particular. The Coast Guard decision was more like, you're a terrible student, and we're not gonna financially support you in any way. So, if like get a job or find a way to go to college. And the Coast Guard was, I looked at all the branches, had family members in almost all of them. And I was like, you know what? I had one uncle that was in the Coast Guard in World War II. And I thought he was really funny and an interesting guy. And I was like, I'm going to check out the Coast Guard. And then I ended up enlisting and going like 6 months after graduating from high school.
My Uncle Jimmy was in the Coast Guard for like 30 years.
Oh, wow. I mean, a lot more common where you're from, not common in a landlocked state.
No. I mean, I guess if you're like, I want to get the hell out of here, what can I do? Get on the water.
Yeah. I mean, the closest recruiting office was Philadelphia. I would have to drive to Philadelphia to do all that stuff.
Is it still true that the Coast Guard, this might be like apocryphal, but they're like the most heavily armed branch of the, the military?
I doubt it. Like person per person?
It was something like that. It was like they had the largest like armory of any of the branches, weirdly.
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't sound right to me.
Doesn't.
I mean, maybe if you're like, because I mean, it's a very like now it seems to have changed. I mean, I could get it way into this, and it's probably not interesting to anyone. But under this new administration, the image of the Coast Guard has taken on a pretty disgusting energy. I follow them on social media, and I'm like, a year ago it was a bunch of like search and rescue, hey, this is life on a ship kind of stuff, and now it's just like guys in digital camo, like
we sunk a boat of refugees.
Pointing guns at a canoe full of 3 people. And it's like, all right, I know that's part of the job, but let's fucking reel it in a little bit.
I don't think you're going to recruit anyone from this, and if you do, they probably shouldn't be signed up.
Yeah, you don't want those people.
No.
Like, so do you think those people are the ones that are then to go like help you clean up an oil spill, which is like probably a way bigger portion of the Coast Guard's job?
Right.
But I don't know. I was a yeoman. I had an administrative job, so I didn't carry a gun.
Could you tie knots?
I could tie a few basic ones. I was on a ship for like 7 months at the beginning of my enlistment. But yeah, it was all right. It was a way to get through the first like 4 years after high school and just kind of like be weird and make a lot of mistakes and then go to college.
Yeah, like sort it out first. Yeah, because I always wonder if someone's like, I loved Jacques Cousteau, so I was like signing up.
Well, I definitely had an interest in like the water, for lack of a better term, but like, I grew up close enough to the East Coast that we were always in Maryland or New Jersey. And my dad had a boat when I was a kid, just like a little, sport fishing boat kind of thing.
A divorced dad boat.
A totally divorced dad boat. But he was like, I think he bought it when he was like almost married to my stepmom already. So, but we had a boat for all. My aunt and uncle had a similar kind of boat, and we'd take it out to Ocean City, Maryland, and in that area in the summer. So definitely like the water. Definitely like being on boats. Didn't have any sort of interest in marine biology, so I don't know why. I mean, it would have made more sense if I had pursued that path, considering all the weird nature documentaries. That
right, that's what I'm saying. I was like, is there a connection here? But no.
No, I don't know. I really could not tell you what the connection is. I think it's just like general curiosity. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm from like a very practical family. I have like one cousin who was an artist, and everybody's like thinks he's the craziest person you could ever be. He did turn out to be pretty crazy.
They weren't wrong.
They were not wrong.
They didn't
were
know
not
that.
wrong. Right. Yeah. They were not wrong. They just didn't understand him. But, so yeah, I think the part of it that appealed to me was just general curiosity. It's like you're reading something that takes you to another place, watching something that explains something that's so far out of what's in front of your reality that, that's what's interesting about it.
Well, the world has gotten so much smaller in a lot of ways, but like I think when we were growing up, especially if you're in like a suburb or semi-rural or whatever, like we're never going to Japan, as like a 9-year-old.
That
like that's
seemed
not
like
even
crazy.
a possibility.
No.
So to be able to learn anything about that with like, not a book, like you actually see these things, the novelty of that is really hard to convey to someone who can watch like a live cam right now, like in lava or something,
Right. Right. Or see like, or, go on YouTube and watch somebody do like a walking tour of Kyoto.
Right.
Like,
right. Or you could do
like,
VR or something and be like, yep, it's like I'm there.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Like I had to like wait whatever area, I was just telling my wife that I had this weird obsession with Chile for some reason. I must have read something about it in National Geographic and then, talked about it in a Spanish class. But I'm like, yeah, still want to go there. I know exactly where it is on the map.
You've never been to this day?
Never been. But yeah, stuff like that where you're like, if it was now, I would just find some TikToker that was like wandering the Andes. I don't know.
Have you been to other countries at all?
Oh yeah. I mean, in high school, I think was the first time I went to another country. I went to Austria.
Oh, wow.
Weirdly, my high school concert band was pretty good, I guess. And we went to Austria with our high school concert band. And then, then I, obviously in the Coast Guard, I'm not going to other countries. I mean, there are you could be stationed on a larger ship.
Right.
But there's like 2 of those in the Coast Guard. Then I went, the next time I think I left the country, aside from going to Canada, my sister lives in Germany. So I went to Germany, been to like Berlin and Munich and Hamburg and like the small town that she lives in. And then I did, right before the pandemic, I did a stand-up tour for Armed Forces Entertainment. And we went to Niger. We went to Bahrain, Egypt.
Oh, wow.
And one other place.
Did you get to see stuff there, or were you just like, in the place? Oh, okay.
No, honestly, it was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. We went to like, when we were in Egypt, we went to this place called Sharm el Sheikh, which is like the outer banks of Egypt. And that was very cool. We just stayed at this resort, and it was during Ramadan. So there was like, it was like 4 comedians and then like 30 Belarusians.
Right.
In this entire resort, because all the local people are Muslim and, not going on vacation during Ramadan. And then we like, one point we had a layover in Cairo, and it was a long layover, and we're like, we should go see the pyramids. And we were like, I think we have enough time to do this. And we literally like landed at like 6 or 7 a.m. and got an Uber to the pyramids and went and saw the pyramids, and then at like all bleary-eyed, like 4 hours of sleep, and then got an Uber back to the airport and then flew to like Bahrain or whatever was next.
The funniest thing about that to me is that into the Uber you had to put the pyramids.
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah.
the
I mean, yeah.
address.
You're basically like, I guess, what is the address of this? The Great
I
Pyramid?
never would have
Yeah.
thought of what's the address of the pyramids.
No, yeah, you don't think about that. You just go, cabbie, pyramids.
Pyramids, follow that pyramid.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Yeah, I always wonder that too, like if people have traveled to other countries or like the ones that they were obsessed with as a kid. Chile, and you don't know why Chile.
I still don't know to this day.
I mean, it's a cool name.
But I'm going to go there. Yeah, I think that was probably something. Or there was like some girl in my class that was from Chile and I had a crush on her or something.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? That there's always something behind
Did
that.
you have exchange students?
We did have exchange students. I think by the time I hit high school, Allentown's, where I went to school, demographic makeup was not like, it was fairly diverse, a very large like Latin population. But yeah, like mostly like Puerto Rican people, Dominican, not a lot of Chileans.
No,
but,
I was gonna say we had an exchange student. I think he was from Norway, and this kid's name was maybe the greatest name of all time. His name was Magnus Killingfield.
Killingfield?
Yes.
Whoa.
Like a freaking like a Marvel villain, Magnus Killingfield. And
if you
super
wrote
nice
that
kid.
name into something, I would be like, okay, I'm out.
That's a little bit too much, guys. I don't
That's
know.
too much.
Yeah, that was the kid's actual name. Oh man, I should look him up, see how he's doing these days. He may become an international supervillain. Then before Monday, we get the classic Columbia House 8 CDs for a penny ad. And I realized how formative 1989 was for my pop music loving. Because right on the front, you got Living Color Vivid and Debbie Gibson Electric Youth. And I think that would pretty much sum up my 1989, those two records.
Yeah, I remember my sister getting in trouble for signing up for this or trying to. And then my mom explaining to her what happens and how this works.
But then you're like, I'm under 18, I can commit mail fraud and have no consequences.
Right.
Like they must have had like, I don't know, every 1,000 person actually pay for the stuff and do the thing like they wanted, I imagine. Because no one else.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's kind of funny now because like this is a technique that you would use in a digital subscription, and it's like whatever, there's no cost of goods for the company to send out and theoretically lose money on. But here they're like, I mean, what was their loss on some of these? You know, like there's ways to scam this. I don't know anybody who did it, but
I did all the time. I signed up like 10 different times and never bought just got the 8 CDs for a penny, and then, use fake names and stuff because they didn't check it. Then they'd send you like collection bills and they're like, Bill Reed screwed. But it was, I looked into those companies and because I was fascinated by them. And one thing I noticed is the club versions of CDs don't have barcodes. Oh. And the reason is they would license the albums and then print them themselves. So they had their own pressing plants, which is how they could make these for like pennies on the dollar, even cheaper than they would be in stores. So basically these probably cost them 2 pennies. So when people did pay for them, their markup was so enormous, it made up for everything else. So like used CD stores wouldn't buy club editions because they didn't have a barcode.
Wow.
So I'm like, I guess it's a good thing if you're like, we have a CD pressing plant. We're not working the presses all the time. What can we do to use the stuff we have and make money? So they just pay like a small licensing fee for the albums.
Yeah, it's pretty brilliant.
It's almost like print on demand. Monday night, what are you doing?
Let's see here. Sorry, I was scrolling up and I caught the Chuck Norris Forced Vengeance ad.
Worst drawing of Chuck Norris ever.
Yeah, it's a very weird, like airbrushy illustration.
It looks like a really bad carnival, like some carnival ride poster. Where they're like, "This is the Forced Vengeance."
Yeah.
It's Chuck Norris on it. Yeah, it's super airbrushed. I mean, he's a weird looking dude, so they kind of got his weird mouth and mustache down, but it's like they started drawing Charles Bronson, and halfway through someone was like, "What are you doing?" And like, "What are you talking about?" Like, it's Chuck Norris, and they're like, "Oh shit, shit! Okay. I know it was Charles or Chuck or whatever," and then they're just like, "I could fix it.
Let me poof his hair up."
Yeah, it's no one will notice. It's really bad.
Let's see, Monday 8:00 again. Alf. My first choice, Alf, 100%.
Did your dad love Alf?
I don't remember my dad watching Alf.
Because there was a weird phenomenon I've encountered on the show where for some reason people's dads loved Alf.
No, my dad was... If my dad was sitting around and watching TV, it was usually the news or like a Eagles game, their football season, or Cops. My stepdad was a big MacGyver guy, so if I was at their house, we'd probably be watching MacGyver, and I would have been okay with that. I would have still wanted to watch Alf, but MacGyver would have been just as good for me.
This is a high-stakes MacGyver episode. I mean, I remember MacGyver would have some high-stakes episodes, but this seems particularly big. It's a power-hungry couple seeking to overthrow a foreign government have quote-unquote programmed Dalton to assassinate the country's president.
Wow.
That's heavy.
Yeah, I always thought they were less like international socio-political.
Yeah,
kind of
assassinations and coup d'etats. Like, come on. I just remember the
That's
Amish
heavy.
episode.
Yeah. Wild America would have been a good choice in this time slot too.
The social behavior and ecological role of wolves, coyotes, and foxes.
Oh yeah.
The social behavior and ecological role. All right.
Baby Boom. That was... Which one was that?
Diane Keaton is like
Yeah.
a yuppie. It's a
she's
great
like
movie.
That's right. I was thinking of Look Who's Talking. Look Who's Talking. I mean, Baby Boom, I definitely remember watching. That would have been a good, what a weekend thing to turn out. Or Revenge of the Nerds 2. Solid movie choices.
Revenge of the Nerds too. Baby Boom had a TV series as well for a while that was not very good, but the movie's great.
Oh.
And Revenge of the Nerds had a failed TV pilot that's real bad.
I feel like I watched that on YouTube or something.
It's real bad. Robbie Rist, who I like, Cousin Oliver, it's been on the show. He played Booger, and it just didn't work.
Ah.
Revenge of the Nerds 2, rated PG-13. Shocking.
Oh. First one was R, right?
Oh, yeah. That was a hard R.
Yeah.
And then the second one was PG-13. And then the third and fourth ones were made for TV movies.
Yeah, I remember watching the first one when I was probably too young to watch it.
And they shot a remake that got shelved. It just never came out. In the late or like mid 2010s, I want to say, like 2015 or something.
Whoa. Do you know who was in it?
I did, and I can't think of it now. It was like there were some names in it, and they shot it. It was like done. And then it's just been completely shelved, and I've heard nothing else about it. I'm wondering if it's like just awful or who knows. Nerds in Paradise does have probably the best 38 special song.
I don't remember which one it was.
It's the theme song, Take Me Back to Paradise. Grab your coat, your shoes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
When it ain't coming back.
I remember the open of this movie is they're like driving down the street in the convertible, right?
Yeah. Take me back to paradise.
Yeah.
It's very Spring Break. It's got a real, you just, I mean, 38 Special, if you're going, I think Second Chance is probably their best song ever. Since you've been gone, I've been in a trance. This heart needs a second chance. What a great lyric.
I gotta revisit 38 Special.
I think they're better than Leonard Skinner, the band they formed from.
I didn't know that either.
Oh yeah, it was the living members of Leonard Skinner, and then the singer from Leonard Skinner's younger brother singing.
Oh wow.
Hold On Loosely, not a great song.
No, but that's the song I associate with them the most.
What did you play in the concert band?
Saxophone, alto saxophone.
All right, and you play guitar now? You don't get the sax out every now and then though?
I do. For a minute I had an annual tradition of playing Old Lang Syne on my roof.
Oh, nice.
For no particular reason. It was just kind of funny.
On New Year's, I should.
On New Year's,
okay, not just every night.
Yeah, every night.
And then my neighbors all got together.
Put the city to bed.
Said they were going to murder me.
No, I would go up on my roof and play Old Lang Syne on New Year's Eve.
I bet people actually enjoyed that.
I would get people clapping or yell, "Play it again." a couple times.
Which is unusual for New York.
Yeah. I tried it once at a party and it totally bombed.
Was it a party you were invited to?
Yeah, but it was a party that I was invited to and thought there was going to be more of my friends there. And then it was like a lot more of the roommates' friends.
Right.
And I had stashed the saxophone there because they were my neighbors. I'd stashed the saxophone there like a day before and then came out and like playing it at midnight. And my friends were like, ah. But then like the roommates' friends were like, who the fuck is this guy?
I feel like even if you didn't know the person, you would be at minimum amazed.
You would think, but I think they were younger too, and it was one of those. It was like a weird party situation where it was like the groups didn't mingle.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, definitely almost put me off to the tradition, but I persevered.
I mean, in hindsight, probably should have had a shirt on.
True, and pants.
But, it's about the sax, and you figure people won't even notice.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a viral video. This is a visual medium.
That's right. It's breath control. Tuesday, what are you doing?
Tuesday.
Also, I should mention all week it's Chuck Norris week. So also on this night, it's good guys wear black.
Yeah, my dad was a big Chuck Norris guy, too. That should not surprise you from what you've already heard.
I love martial arts, and I hate Chuck Norris.
My dad was a big martial arts guy. He taught karate lessons.
Oh, was it karate that he did?
Yeah, in our basement.
Oh, wow. Do you remember what style karate he did?
Okinawan.
Okay. Yeah.
Okinawan Shorin-ryu, if I remember correctly.
That is the thing. Did he learn it in the service or something?
I don't know. No, he was in the Air Force, but he got a medical discharge like pretty quick. So he learned it like from another weird white guy.
Yeah. Well, it was like, especially Okinawan and karate was huge with like white military dudes of that age group, especially.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he was real into it for a while.
I did Kempo for years, which is
cool.
Yeah, another Okinawan style. I had 2 black belts.
Nice.
It's been a long time.
Like doing it. I did like when I was a kid, but I don't think I even got past white belt, but I was always like down there doing the classes with him when he was like teaching everyone else.
It's fun. Chuck Norris, not very exciting. Like he just has no charisma. Like even people who are huge Chuck Norris fans will be like, this man has no charisma. Show me why you like him. They'll be like, well, I mean, there kind of isn't anything. Like they can't point to a role.
Yeah, no.
Where it's like, what?
And he had such a career.
Yeah.
Like prolific.
Not a good actor. Terrible charisma. Like decent martial artist, but really he has one move. It's like you can do a high kick. That's it.
Yeah. I remember he would always advertise those split machines.
Yes.
In like art martial arts magazine.
Or the Chuck Norris action jeans. Do you remember those ads?
Oh yeah. They were like, they had elastic in them.
Yeah. They were basically jeggings.
Yeah.
But he called them Chuck Norris action jeans.
Sweat jeans.
They said Chuck Norris action jeans on them.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Like
That's
where
funny.
like the Levi thing would be. It was like Chuck Norris action jeans. Jeans.
All right. So I'm just noticing on Tuesday at 6:30 is Adolf Hitler.
Yes.
Doesn't have any other on A&E. There's just I guess a half hour of Adolf.
On Monday at 6:30 they were showing Mein Kampf, the 1961 documentary about Adolf Hitler on A&E.
Wow.
This is when A&E was 90% Hitler content.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Let's see. 8 o'clock. Who's the Boss for sure?
Yeah.
Who's the Boss and then Wonder Years. I loved Wonder Years.
Great show.
And that was an easy like sell for the whole family.
Which is insane. My dad would tear up watching the Wonder Years, which I would
really
be so vicious to him about, because it was like his exact age. So, like this episode's from 1988, takes place in 1968. My dad graduated high school in 73, so he would have been, like 13. He would have been the same. He's the same exact age as Fred Savage's character. So it like resonated with him, and I can't imagine. Like, could you imagine, like, I graduated high school in 98, like in 2018, watching a show set in high school in the mid 90s? It would have seemed ridiculous.
Yeah. The thing with that show is the tone of it too. Because like, it's not funny. at all.
It's a dramedy.
It's like, yeah, totally. And it was also weird for me to have any interest in anything dramatic. Drama and horror was not my...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To this day?
I like them now. I like horror more now. My wife's a big horror fan, so she's kind of like guided me through a lot of things. But I think that was another thing with my older sister. My 3 months, it was 3 months older. Loved horror movies, and I never wanted to be scared. And we would end up watching these things. She made me watch the movie It, the original one.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I'm like scarred by it.
Oh, Tim Curry's terrifying in that.
Yeah. That and Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, yes.
She loved watching that. I liked watching it, but also it would just put me in a mood for like where I would like wouldn't want to go to bed because I'm just like it didn't really even matter what the story was. It was just like, oh my God, they're still out there.
Yeah, it was a show that made you shut the lights off and run up the stairs as quickly as you possibly could.
Yes. So yeah, Who's the Boss in Wonder Years then? And then 9 o'clock Roseanne for sure.
Great show, still holds up. I even liked the Connors stuff they did. It was like very, was one of the few, not even remake shows, but like sequel shows that had the same tone. It felt like the same family. It really fit well. And it's just a great show. Like that, again, killer cast of supporting people. Roseanne never did the heavy lifting, but they managed to build around her just great, like comedy killers. Who's the Boss? The show I never liked and watched every week anyway.
Yeah. I don't. Who's the Boss? It was a weird comfort show.
Oh, it's totally innocuous.
Yeah, very much. Roseanne, that was another one I keep telling because my wife never watched it.
Oh wow!
Like it just didn't appeal to her. And I'm like, that's gonna be the next one. Like we just have to forget about what Roseanne became.
Yeah,
and I think, and this. I loved the show because it felt like a reflection of my own family.
Yeah.
And the people that I was around a lot. And so I watched it. I loved it. I didn't understand necessarily like what her background was. I guess I knew she was a comic, but wasn't quite as into it at that point. But then, when I did Last Comic Standing in like 2013 or 14, whatever it was, I don't remember anymore. She was a judge, and it was her and Russell Peters and Keenan Ivory Wayans, and she was the only one that was complimentary to me, and I didn't make it past that first round.
Right.
But Keenan Ivory Wayans was just like I had like a pretty solid set, and then Keenan was just like at the end of it, I'm like waiting for that review, and Keenan's just like, you're like a cross between Woody Allen and Tim Allen, and it just got a bigger laugh than like anything I had said in my set,
which I feel
and
like was a line he'd been sitting on waiting to use.
Totally sitting on it. And it's also just like, that's the famous guy. When he says something funny, it's of course he's just got this upper hand. And I was just, as soon as that happened, I was just like, well, I'm fucked.
You know what's funny? I don't think he ever did stand up, ever. I think that Damon is the only one in that family that actually was like out in the clubs doing stand up.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny. Because I'm like, well, Roseanne, like as crazy as she was like in the trenches doing clubs.
For real.
Have you ever done shows with Tom
Arnold? No, I've never run into him.
Oh, he's the best. He's so funny.
He would. I think he would be really funny to like talk to.
Best guy, amazing stories. Talking about the Roseanne stuff's really funny. You realize how much of the really great stuff he was kind of he would never say it, but he was responsible for, like on that show, because she made him a producer early on, and
right.
And like the writing staff of that show was killer. You had like Judd Apatow, Norm Macdonald, Laura Heitlinger, Joss Whedon was a writer on the show, as although he's problematic now. But just like a killer comedy writing team for that show. There's also an ad on the next page that is horrifying. It's for the Bahamian diet. And it's a woman who weighed 624 pounds. She lost 300 pounds on the Bahamian diet. And it appears to be 7 bottles of pills and shakes and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like powder.
It looks so unhealthy. I can't imagine what horrible chemicals are in this thing.
I have to Google it now.
Bahamian diet. Why is it called Bahamian?
It's probably just like Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And then they're like, replace this with a meal, and then you just cut your caloric intake in half and you lose weight by accident.
Has no cholesterol, sweeteners, artificial colors, or dairy ingredients. What the hell's in it? Oh, here you go.
Sand.
It's available at GNC. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
GNC.
Yeah, this was like prime, like when GNC started to really like get a stranglehold on all that stuff.
Which is why, like, any dead mall or shopping center, you could always tell they're in a bad situation if there's a thriving GNC there.
Yeah. Yeah, we have one in our neighborhood, which is like weird because it's Queens.
Who goes there?
And I mean, I've gone there for a few things, but it always seems kind of dead, and there's like, they're very small.
Yeah.
But you're just like, is there really a demand for like these kind of supplements and like, you know,
Are you paying your rent with this, guys?
Right. Yeah. I live in a part of Queens that somehow has like these weird like surviving franchises where it's like, it's just, if you keep going further into Queens, you basically like hit the mall. It's in Ridgewood, Queens. It's like right on the border of Bushwick,
Right.
Brooklyn. But yeah, we had an FYE until like a year ago.
Do you think there's like a time barrier? Like,
I have no idea, but I mean, I kind of loved it because I would just be like, I would go for a walk and I'd be like, I'm gonna pop into FYE, and they would always just have everything on like crazy sale. And I'm like, how do you guys keep getting stock and having, you know, like these like closing sales?
right, for years.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, this is it. This is definitely, they're done after this. And then you go back, be there a month later, and then there'd be a new shipment of like Funko Pop things
Well, it's
and
like
weird Bluetooth headphones. It's
like those World War II soldiers that were left on islands still fighting the war because they didn't know it was over.
Yeah.
Like the whole chain went out of business and they like forgot to tell these people. So they're just like
Right.
going along
Right.
for years more. They're like, yeah, we have an Orange Julius and a FIE. What's the big deal?
Right. Have you heard from corporate lately?
No, I figured they're just busy. They'll get around to it. You know, it's so what? It's a Bradley's.
Bradley's.
Wednesday, what are you doing?
All right. Here I go. 8 o'clock. Oh, I mean, Unsolved Mysteries, if my sister's in control. Growing Pains, if I'm in control. It's weird because now, looking back at this, I'm like, why wouldn't I watch Smothers Brothers?
Right.
But I don't ever remember watching stuff like that.
I would on like Nick at
Then.
Night sometimes. They would have like
Yeah.
specials and stuff. But yeah, this was a summer series. This was the new Smothers Brothers. So this is actually a pretty good show. And I don't know if you know Nell Scovell, the writer. She wrote for The Simpsons and Boston.
I know the
comedy
name.
writer. This was her first gig, like writing comedy. In her book, she has really great things to say about like how great they were for helping her write comedy. And this one, Shelley Long's in this episode. The Flying Karamazov brothers, Bill Dana, Jim Stafford. We are in summer, so it's, what are we, August 2nd. So you would get these weird summer series that were new content. So like Growing Pains is a repeat. Unsolved Mysteries isn't a repeat. It's an Alcatraz special. But, you know, I'd watch these things out of curiosity because I'm like, this is a weird summer series. It's probably not coming back. I'm going to check it out.
Right. Yeah, and then Head of the Class.
Still like that show. Holds up.
Yeah.
Holds up. In
Yeah,
my view.
I like that one quite a bit.
Oh, you didn't watch Hot Dog the movie?
No.
You've never seen Hot Dog the movie?
No. Where's that?
It's on PIX at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
It's about it's like Revenge of the Nerds, but skiing. It's like horny skiers.
Okay.
And there's also a movie called Hamburger, the motion picture.
That one sounds familiar. I feel like these are all movies that I would have picked out at the video store.
Yes.
Because the cover would have appealed to me in some way.
They only give Hot Dog the movie 1 star,
Wow.
which is I mean,
That's harsh.
they're not wrong.
Right.
It probably is a 1-star movie. But yeah, it's just, it
I
hurts
think
to
they
see
kind
it.
of leave it up to the viewer.
Yeah. I mean, that might be ESPN is showing Swimsuit 89. They're not even trying. They're like, it's August, just put the swimsuit on. Like, is that a sport? Yeah, whatever.
Right. Might as well be. Well, there's a magazine for it.
Yeah, it is sports in the title. Head of the class again. You get Dan Schneider, who's gross, but the
Right.
show was funny. It was smart. It was different too. You didn't get a show about like smart kids. They were
No.
usually like wise asses or like dicks, and this was like these kids are all capable, but have some other problems going on, and it was just like an interesting dynamic.
Right.
Sidekicks was re-airing on Disney, which was a show I loved.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I kicked a hole in the wall when I was watching an episode of Sidekicks.
Of course you did.
I got so excited as a kid, and it was that didn't go over well.
Or not. Wait, was that not? I thought that was like a.
There is a movie with Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis called Sidekicks.
That's what I'm thinking of.
This one was a TV series with Gil Gerard from Buck Rogers and Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah.
And it was a spinoff of a made-for-TV movie called The Last of the Electric Knights. And it was about this kid who was like a mystical martial arts whiz, and he had to be protected by like a tough cop, turning your gun and badge kind of cop.
Okay.
And they like solve crimes together.
I'm on board.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I'd watch Ernie Reyes Jr. in anything.
Yeah.
and he-
Especially at that time.
Oh yeah, he was fantastic. He was coming right off of Red Sonja. Was it Red
Oh,
Sonja?
wow. Yeah.
Post Red Sonja, pre Ninja Turtles. Anything else on Wednesday? There's a summer series on that has one of the worst titles I've ever heard in my life. Night, Knight, and Day, Daye.
Oh, God.
And it's like a buddy cop show with a guy named Hank Knight and Everett Day.
We got Shark Week here, and I did not realize Shark Week was that old.
Oh yeah, I think this might be the first year they did Shark Week.
Wow.
When it was still like literally it's Shark Week, it's just 8 documentaries about sharks.
But right. When it made sense. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else.
There's a weird 1983 made for TV movie that they give 4 stars. So this is 4 times better than Hot Dog the movie. And it's from 1983 and it's called Who Will Love My Children?
Yeah, that's one of those things. What's the other title? Not Without My Daughter.
Not Without My Daughter. Yeah, this one sounds so depressing. It's Anne Margaret, who I do love, turns in a fine performance in this true story of a poor but proud mother in the 1950s in Iowa who resolves to find fit homes for her 10 kids before she dies of cancer.
Oh, boy.
Like, who wants to watch that? 4, so apparently a lot of people, if it's 4 stars.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that's a 4-star movie. Thursday, what are you doing?
I'm going to probably go Cosby Show, then A Different World, for sure. I liked A Different World a lot.
Different World
when
is
I was a kid.
fantastic. Jesse Jackson is in this episode.
Wow.
He's guest starring, visiting Hellman, playing himself.
I'm scrolling to the audience to hear me scroll while I try and find the description. I'm not a great TV guide reader.
Quite all right. Did you guys get TV Guide?
We did. I kind of remember us getting it for a while. But, like, again, it was, like, Dad had it, Mom...
Right. She was the
Mom-
newspaper thing, and your dad...
Reader's
yeah.
Digest house. Probably better. Probably good to have that balance.
I never understood Reader's Digest.
I mean, as a kid, I would read it. My stepdad read it, like, cover to cover. And I would kind of like to read it because everything was like short and a lot of it was like pretty light, but it was also like kind of boring.
But it was like
for
condensed
grown-ups.
versions of novels, right?
No, not that I remember. I mean, maybe there were some like segments of things like that. But from what I remember, it was a lot of just like articles about a range of things. And then like I would always read like they had segments like humor in uniform.
Okay.
Where it would be like, you know, funny, I'm doing air quotes,
Yes.
funny stories from like military members and cops and things about stuff that happened on the job.
That were all probably made up.
Yeah, like stuff like that. But to me as, you know, kid,
You're like,
kind
this
of,
is exactly in my two interests.
yeah, totally. I'm like, I can't wait to submit to this. And then nothing funny happened to me in 4 years.
Like, not one thing I can write into Reader's Digest.
So that's where I'm at Thursday. Cheers, maybe? Yeah, Cheers. We definitely watched Cheers.
Oh, and the new Mission Impossible is on. Forgot about that. So this was during the writer's strike in 1989 as well.
Oh, wow.
Because that Mission Impossible, this was the network's big FU to the writers. They went, we're going to do a new Mission Impossible. And we don't have to pay writers because we'll use the old scripts from the 60s show. And they did.
Oh.
They didn't update them or anything.
Oh, wow.
Which is such a bad idea.
Yeah.
But that's such an executive would make that like,
oh,
perfect.
Totally.
Makes perfect sense.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, it's a show from 1965. Doesn't matter. No one will know.
You want us to update the references? No.
Nope. Don't
Can't
need
do
to.
that.
People are too
that would
stupid.
require a writer.
There's also a pool ad in here that I saw for
I saw that.
above ground pool,
Uh-huh.
which was also kind of a divorced dad thing.
We had one.
Did your dad had one?
Yeah.
Gibraltar Pools Corp. And their kind of thing is like, we make big above ground pools. So they're like, it's not a tin can. But
Yeah.
the drawing is a guy diving into a can, but it says tuna pool. And like, I'm just like grossed out by the image of like a tuna pool.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it now.
I don't know
It
why.
is gross.
Like, why does it have to say tuna pool on it? Like, it's a tin can. We get it. Like, you don't have to write tuna pool on it.
Self-cleaning pool.
No way.
Yeah, we had my dad. So my mom had a above ground pool at her house too, and my dad had one. My dad had like a small tuna can pool, but it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was like there was a tree from the neighbor's yard that kind of hung over it, so it got all these leaves in it all the time, and it was like my dad was working like crazy hours as a cop.
Right. He's not out there with a
He's not
net.
No, and he doesn't. I'm old enough to like skim it, and but I'm not of like big get a pool vacuum out chore age when we had it, so it would just get green. But if you thought that would stop me from swimming in it, you were very wrong. In fact, I kind of preferred the murky water because then I felt like I was like scuba diving or something. Me and my neighbor friends would just like put stuff at the bottom of it and get these like waterproof flashlights and shine around the pool.
There's your challenge. It's otherwise,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Right. Yeah. So dirty tuna can pools you think are a bad thing, but I'm here to tell you that they can provide some really great memories for a child.
Invaluable life skills.
Yeah.
Feel like, oh no, we dropped the cure for cancer in the bottom of this dirty tuna can pool. We're screwed. And then you're like, what'd you say? I just happen to have this waterproof flashlight. I'll get it.
From the military surplus
Yes,
store.
exactly. Friday night, final night of the week. What are you doing?
I mean, Full House, 100% Full House. I was a big Full House fan.
I watched it every week. Again, wouldn't really say I enjoyed the show, but watched it religiously.
Yeah, I same. It was just like a weird comfort thing to me. It made me like, I don't know, like all these shows that took place somewhere else would cause like a weird obsession with that place.
Right.
So Full House was me going like, one day I'm going to see San Francisco.
And you've done Sketchfest, right?
Oh yeah, a couple times.
Have you gone to the Full House house?
Oh yeah.
Same.
Yeah. And like, I remember, well, the first time I went to San Francisco, I was in the Coast Guard. But I was doing training in Petaluma, and these two older guys were like, hey, we rented a car and we're going to go into San Francisco for the night if you want to come. I'm like, all right. So I couldn't be like, oh man, I loved the show Full House. Let's drive past that.
Your military friends.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to North Beach and we're going to the strip club.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
Different kind of Full
House. That's what I'll do. Yeah, different vibe. But then I went back for comedy, and then I got to do all the fun things that I felt like doing.
I remember I took a picture of myself out in front of the house, and then I texted Saget. And I think he wrote back like nerd or something. It was very funny. I was like, I got it.
I met him once because my friend was opening for him at the time. And he had us backstage, and he was very friendly.
Super nice guy.
I never got to like have a conversation with him though.
He was awesome. He was like one of the first like celebrities I got to work with doing comedy. In 2009, I did like, I think 4 or 5 shows with him, like in all the outdoor, like shed venues in New England one summer. And he was just so nice, like just a super nice dude. Like he stayed in touch, was just like very, very
that's cool.
So it was just like very weird. I remember I was doing the shows with him, and like where I'm sitting now, I could see like my formal dining room, and in that room I used to have a rack of TV guides. And I think I was emailing with him, and I just happened to look up, and like 2 TV guides had him on the cover.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is weirding me out. This is weird. This is too weird.
You just drop a guitar?
I dropped a light, and it did hit a guitar. So you're sticking with TGIF all night. This is the birth of TGIF, by the way. So Full House used to be on Tuesday nights. They moved it to Fridays, and this is when they decided they were going to do the TGIF in 1989.
I didn't remember. I was wondering because I didn't remember Mr. Belvedere being part of TGIF.
It wasn't. It wasn't officially. So this was the last season of Mr. Belvedere, and it was on Friday nights. They got rid of it. That and Just the 10 of Us, which was one of my favorite shows, got axed.
I like Just the 10 of Us a lot.
Love it so much. I have all their continuity scripts with the Polaroids for costumes and all that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Very large.
That guy was a stand-up comic.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize until like recently.
This is a Just the 10 of Us cast shirt signed by Bill Kirkenbauer to me.
Wow.
Not to brag or anything.
Oh, please brag.
Yeah. I don't want anyone robbing me.
Perfect Strangers was another one that I loved too, obviously.
Watched it every week and was like, I wouldn't say I enjoyed the show. It was so broad. In hindsight, it was pretty good. Like, I do like both leads. Mark Linn-Baker's really funny as just like an unlikable asshole on that show.
Yeah.
Bronson Pinchot, obviously, very funny. But it was so much like I Love Lucy.
You mean like with that, like an Odd Couple kind of?
Yeah, just like the style of comedy. It was very like physical slapstick kind of like broad comedy. And there wasn't... Yeah. Which in hindsight, like that's kind of cool. There wasn't really any sitcoms like that on in the 80s. So they were kind of standing out. I had the guy who was one of the original directors on Perfect Strangers. And before Mark Linn-Baker, they had another person in that role. It was a stand-up. And they did a pilot with him. And the studio made them recast it because they said it was too gay.
Oh, wow.
And that person, any guesses?
Paul Reiser.
Louis Anderson.
Oh, wow.
So it was Bronson Pinchot and Louis Anderson, which,
oh man,
like aside from whatever, if you thought it was too gay, like I just feel like that dynamic wouldn't work.
No, not
like
at
Louis
all.
Anderson's not an asshole. Like he's so likable. You need someone who's like just a selfish jerk and then like an innocent, like well-meaning guy.
Yeah, you need somebody who would be jealous of the Bronson for their like the way they kind of move through life.
Yeah, and it's just like of course, like
no, Louis Anderson's not that guy.
No, Louis Anderson's great, but that is a terrible casting. And then Just the 10 of Us is on, which is the one where Wendy gets suspended from school. And this is a repeat. And when this first aired, I had been suspended from school that day.
Oh, what'd you get suspended for?
I pulled a chair out from under a kid when he was sitting down.
Oh, man.
And he bruised his tailbone.
Oh no.
It was one of those, like, I had very poor impulse control, but like, he was sitting down so slowly. I just was like, this will be really funny. So I pulled the chair and he just went right down to the ground. Oh, and I got suspended. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. I still think it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I would do it to my friends.
Oh yeah.
If it was just somebody else, I don't know if
You could take
I'd
it.
have the courage for it.
He's fine now. I don't think.
That's
I don't
good.
think he suffered any lifelong consequences from that, but maybe he did. I don't know. I haven't seen him in probably 40 years. Yeah. And then 2020's on, which is the only show my parents forbid me from watching.
Oh wow.
Because I was.
Yeah, I kind of remember 2020 starting up and that being like all right, time to go like take a shower, get ready for bed.
It was a real shock because you're watching TGIF and it's like just 10 of us ends and it's Hugh Downs talking 2020. And it's usually pretty heavy. This one's about Woodstock, which I would have been like, who cares?
Oh.
'Cause it's the 20th anniversary of Woodstock.
Oh wow.
But normally, like 2020, I've talked about it on the show before, they had an episode around this time where they showed a real exorcism.
Oh god.
And it was a full episode. It's ridiculous. It's in hindsight, they're exploiting like a poor girl who's clearly suffering from mental illness.
Right.
But at the time, they're literally like, a real exorcism. It's a demon. And this girl, she goes, the priest is like, what is your name, demon? And then the girl goes, my name is Minga. Like in this weird voice. And he's like, Demon Minga. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. My name is Minga. And they're like, at the time I was like, totally, it has to be real. Totally real.
Oh yeah. Well, why wouldn't you believe
Yeah,
that?
of course. There's a thing on at 11 that I've never heard of before. It's on PBS. And it's filmmaker John Sayles, who I love, has been on the show, John Sayles, and choreographer Marta Renzi collaborate in Mountain View, a story told through dance and set in a small-town tavern. The bartender, played by Jane Alexander, and her son, Alexander's real-life son Jace, interact with patrons who express themselves in dance to tunes by Bruce Springsteen, Tammy Wynette, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, the Pogues, and the Stanley Brothers' Old Man.
Oh my god.
Like, that sounds really weird and fascinating.
Can you find it?
I'll see if I can
Can
find
you
it.
watch like? Does the Paley Center have like everything
Most things, although
that's ever been televised?
you'd be shocked how much stuff is on YouTube now. Like in the last couple of years,
Yeah.
so much stuff is on there. And that sounds awesome. I didn't even know Sales did that. Like I know his movies, but I didn't know that was a thing. I'm very curious about that. If I can't find it, here's an annoying thing. I'll email John Sales.
Ooh.
I'll see if he's got a copy.
He'll send you a VHS copy.
Yeah, he may. You never know. I've done crazier things before. So that is the week, but as you know, Jim TV Guide is not just informative, it has opinions and it cheers and it jeers. So to close out this week, I'd like to read you the cheers and jeers of this week, last week in July, first week in August 1989, and see if you agree or disagree with TV Guide's complaints.
All right.
This was always my favorite part of the TV Guide because it was not signed by anyone. So it was anonymous and it would get super bitchy. You never knew what you were going to get in it. So this week, we have split week, 2 cheers, 2 jeers. Start with a cheers. Cheers to the bright spots of original programming in those dog days of reruns. CBS's Dr. Doctor is a cleverly written offbeat sitcom about a harried, idiosyncratic general practitioner and the perfect vehicle for the animated talents of Matt Frewer. HBO's Tales from the Crypt is a stylish, chilling horror anthology that brings the cable the talents of such well-known Hollywood directors as Richard Donner, Walter Hill, and Robert Zemeckis, and some of the leftover Miami Vice episodes on NBC have been better than those that aired during the season. Are those shows good? Yes, they are, especially when you consider the alternative, which is a weird backhanded compliment at the end there.
Yeah.
I forgot that Miami Vice went into like 1990 and they had some like episodes that didn't air. Dr. Doctor's Matt Frewer, who people know as Max Headroom.
Oh, okay.
Which is not a great show, but this was the summer that Tales from the Crypt premiered, and Tales from the Crypt I loved Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, that one was on the border for me because it was supposed to be scary, but also like you could like camp didn't bother me. So I remember watching Tales from the Crypt like later years.
Yeah, they had some intentional humor, and there were some genuinely scary episodes. Jeers to CBS's The Young and the Restless for its unrealistic, soft soap depiction of an AIDS sufferer. Jessica, played by Rebecca Street, is afflicted with the deadly disease, but walks around most days looking the very picture of health. By way of contrast, ABC's All My Children chose to bring verisimilitude to a similar storyline, educating and moving its audience in the process. So they're mad there's a character on Young and the Restless with AIDS who doesn't seem sick enough.
Right.
This is the opposite of what they should jeer. Like, I bet Young and the Restless was like, you can live with this disease. It's 1989. It doesn't mean there's a death sentence. And they're all like, we want to see her dying.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a very interesting take.
I mean, 1989 was such a terrible understanding of what all that was.
Yeah.
That was another thing. Obviously, we were just like trained to be deathly afraid of.
Oh yeah.
Acid rain, and AIDS.
Yeah.
Were very.
You don't want to be outside if acid rain hits and there's people with AIDS. It'll get everywhere.
Nope.
And then cheers to the irrepressible Jim J. Bullock, the perfect game show host. You may be familiar with his gopher bro clowning on Hollywood Squares, which makes him the most diverting square since the late Paul Lynde. By happy coincidence, one recent day, Bullock made appearances on Couch Potatoes and the daytime version of Win, Lose, or Draw. In some markets, these shows air back to back. In both cases, he was funny, manic, and totally disruptive, poking fun at the hosts, Mark Summers and Vicki Lawrence, and the show's conventions. The cocky Bullock could make a career out of creating mayhem by popping up on game shows. Who knows? Now that Hollywood Squares has been canceled, maybe that's what he'll do. So that's the Jim J. Bullock's PR person got that in there?
Yeah, seriously. That's like it's pretty high praise.
And he got a photo.
Do they usually pick like one guy?
Very occasionally, but that's an unusually glowing. I mean, sure, Jim J. Bullock's funny on those shows, but I'm not like, oh wow, he really elevated Couch Potatoes today.
Yeah.
And finally, jeers. I already know I disagree with this just because the first sentence is to MTV and VH1. I don't know what it's about, but I already can tell I'm disagreeing. Jeers to MTV and VH1 for the commercial exploitation of the Woodstock Festival's 20th anniversary. For some time, VH1 and MTV have been showing, quote, Woodstock Minutes featuring outtakes from the 1970 film. They're really designed to provide sponsors with the right sales climate to hawk nostalgic Woodstock-related merchandise. Bummer, man. The selling of Woodstock clearly displays how far we've traveled from Eusker's Farm to MTV and how sadly corporate rock music has become. Oh my God. What do you think this person did when Woodstock 99 happened?
Oh, they probably died.
They probably just immediately committed Harry. They were like, the spirit of Woodstock. I don't think I ever saw anyone who was a true believer in the spirit, Woodstock, man, it was about the music. It's too commercial.
Yeah, I those people were nowhere in my orbit.
No. I remember I was so happy to have the black box when Woodstock 94 happened.
Oh, I wish I had it.
Because they had, it was 3 channels of all day feeds. And they were I think they were color, it was the black channel, the green channel, they were color named. And they were for the different stages. And you could just watch 24 hours a day for 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of remember. I remember watching it on MTV, recap.
Oh, the highlights, here's Nine Inch Nails in the mud and Green Day.
Right. Yeah.
You could not pay me to go to an outdoor music festival, even if it wasn't an overnight camping one. I don't think you could pay me enough money.
I went to one once, and my wife's a talent manager, and her clients were doing the comedy tent at Bonnaroo. It was Phoebe Robinson and Jessica Williams. And I was hired to run camera for the live stream. So I got an artist pass to Bonnaroo. And I got to experience Bonnaroo with an artist pass and then with a bunch of artists and comedians and stuff. And I got VIP treatment.
A bathroom
and I'm like, well,
and food.
yeah. I'm like, well, I can never go to another outdoor festival like this again because I'll never have this level of experience. So that's that.
It'd be even worse for me. I would know what it's like. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
right.
no way.
Yeah. And I'm not even affording like the good tickets at this point.
But that's the best way to ruin something.
Oh yeah. I don't regret it. Yeah. That was fine.
There's some guy who's like, I went to Woodstock, ran the camera, got to have food and helicopters. Ugh, ruined it.
Right.
It was too commercial.
Right.
Commercial. Man, well, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so glad we had a chance to sit down and
Thanks
do this.
for having me on. This is fun. This is it's like drawing up memories from things that that were just like kind of chilling back there.
In a good way, hopefully.
Yeah, very good way. Yeah, for sure.
There you go. That was Jim without pictures and promoting his special with pictures, if that makes sense. Oh, you know what I was just reminded of? Like a month ago, Owen Hammer put out like a 40-minute condensed version of the episode that he was on using the video. So I have video of pretty much every single recording I've done since we've gone remote. I always offer it to my guests. Most of them don't take me up on it. I understand. I should probably wear a shirt more often. But Owen did. And so he kind of just took the Twin Peaks and David Lynch stuff and put it into a very fun, well put together little piece on his site. And if you want to check that out, you can search on YouTube or just ask me for a link. You can shoot me an email at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or ken@icanread.com or kenreadtvgc@gmail.com. And I'll send you a link to that if you can't find it. You never know. Some guests might want to do video in the future. Frankie Frayne of Red Cow Entertainment did one years ago. Some people take the video, but most people don't. Anyway, next week, will the person take the video? Will they won't? Will they won't? Who knows? You'll have to find out. So I'll see you again next week for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
Oh my God, is that woman having an orgasm? What could be cause? Oh, cigarettes.